Who or what was the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten? Deciphering his DNA provides answers. Now you'll see some images. The first one coming up is his DNA. His DNA is on the left, human DNA is on the right. You'll see how intense his DNA is. Look at this compared to modern human A, which is item B on the right-hand side. And you'll see a similar type of a thing happening with his bone. Very intensive bone structure compared to the human bones, the bones of a modern Homo sapien. So what about all these differences, genetic differences? Akhenaten was a pharaoh in the 18th dynasty, the father of the famous Tutankhamun, King Tut. His contemporaries called Pharaoh the ruler of heretics. The ancient Egyptians tried to erase his legacy from history, so very little is known about him. But what we know about him makes us wonder who or what he really was. We can start by his appearance. Unlike all previous pharaohs who were portrayed in excellent physical shape, Akhenaten preferred to be portrayed as he is. It must be admitted that his appearance is surprisingly strange. Almond-shaped eyes, a small abdomen, thin limbs, and elongated skull. Akhenaten turned Egypt upside down, creating the greatest act of heresy the Egyptians ever knew. He proclaimed that the Egyptians no longer believed in a pantheon of several gods, but worshipped one god with a capital G. And in this regard, there is an assumption that Akhenaten and the biblical Abraham may be the same person. However, Akhenaten did not really believe in monotheism, belief in one god. He was absolutely convinced that the other gods exist, but decided that all worship and prayers would be given to one god, the sun god. Everything about this pharaoh was different, right down to his DNA. Stuart Fleischmann, assistant professor of comparative genomics at Cairo University, and his team recently published a result of a 7-year study. They mapped the genomes of 9 ancient Egyptian pharaohs. 8 samples were completely normal, and the 9th, taken from the grave KB 55, where Akhenaten is supposedly buried, was quite unusual. Fleischmann and his team subjected the precious sample of his ancient DNA to a process called, in molecular biology, the polymeric chain reaction, PCR test. We know that PCR from COVID tests. Now, the technique is often used to reproduce and amplify a single copy of a piece of DNA, giving researchers a clear picture of the genetic fingerprint. The source of the DNA sample was a small piece of brain tissue and a piece of bone tissue, and as a result, the CXPAC5 gene was isolated, which is responsible for the growth of the cerebral cortex. It appears that this increased activity in Akhenaten's genome suggests that he had a greater cranial capacity due to the need to accommodate a larger cortex. But what mutation caused the growth of the human brain? The skull is enlarged only by 2 processes, extreme aging and extreme genetic mutation. So Akhenaten should not have lived to be 45 years old. Archaeological evidence refutes this. In addition, electron microscopes have found signs of nucleon scar, which is a sure manifestation of the healing of the DNA helix after exposure to strong mutagens. The results of the analysis of bone tissue taken from Akhenaten's skull showed that the bones of his skull are much denser and fundamentally different from other mummies of the same age and period. And moreover, Akhenaten's skull and skeleton is twice as dense and durable as that of modern humans. So who or what was Akhenaten really? A hybrid of an alien, a mutant, the biological Abraham, or a creation from another planet? Maybe he owned the strange medallion with images of aliens. Science cannot yet find its genome into the general picture of antiquity. And this is from Solask. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support. and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.